Myth debunked, the pyramids were not built by slaves. The ancient Greek writer, historian, and geographer Herodotus is called the father of history. His findings and written documents shaped a lot of what we think about the ancient world, including the belief that the pyramids were built by slaves. However, recent archaeological excavations and modern science have proven that long-held belief to be wrong. The pyramids, the world's largest structures up until the 20th century, were not built by slaves. Here is who built them. The pyramid builders. The three pyramids of Giza, built in the 3rd millennium BC, represent the finest skill of pyramid building of ancient Egypt. The revelation of who built them has been called one of the most important archaeological finds in the last 100 years. During an excavation around the Giza pyramids, a digger hit a big block which turned out to be a wall of a building. Archaeologists moved in and found a large structure, a village, dating from 2000 BC. The village extended further than half a square mile. It was found that those were the houses in which the pyramid builders lived and operated. Large intact bakeries were also found in the village. They were filled with hundreds of massive clay pots weighing up to 25 kilograms in which bread was baked. They were the first indicators of food production necessary to feed a large workforce. The chief archaeologist of the Giza Plateau, Dr. Zahi Hawass, explained how the second clue came when a lady was riding a horse and the horse's leg fell into a crack that exposed a little mud brick wall. These were the walls of the tombs of the pyramid builders and their overseers. 600 of those tombs have been discovered at 2 levels. The lower-level tombs were simple and contained just bones, pots, and tools of the workers. The upper tombs were more elaborate, and that is where the supervisors and architects were buried. The tombs were completely intact because thieves were not interested in them since they contained no treasure. The walls of some of the tombs were inscribed. The inscriptions explained the pyramid building process, but also the cooking, planning, and directing that was done as a part of the whole operation. The bones were then transferred to the Cairo University Medical School where more groundbreaking discoveries were made. Out of all the skeletons, 50% were male, 50% female, and 6% belonged to children, even 1-year-old babies. That indicated to whole families who lived around the pyramids. DNA analysis confirmed that theory. The discovery of families crumbled down the slave theory, and the next finding debunked the slave fact once more. Upon further analysis of the bones, scientists found how some of them were broken and then healed. They compared healed bones of the workers with healed bones of noblemen with similar injuries and found that they received the same medical attention. The mending of broken bones in ancient Egypt required a lot of skill and time which was not spent on slaves. But the pyramid workers did get that special treatment. When a person broke a bone, he or she would have been laid down and the injuries inspected. Then the doctor would pull on the broken arm or leg and his assistant on the healthy limb. That would lessen the fracture and the wound would then be treated with an unknown mineral, honey, and wrapped in linen cloths. Honey was applied daily until the wound healed. The doctors in ancient Egypt were so skilled that they even performed successful amputations. But the premium medical treatment was not the only thing the pyramid builders enjoyed. Their diet was at a high level too. Fish bones and cattle bones no older than 2 years were found in the villages, both expensive foods. Since the staple diet of the common Egyptian was bread, the discovery that large quantities of meat were consumed indicated that a well-fed workforce provided with the best food. Even though the pyramid builders were well treated, their life was not easy. They lived 10 years shorter than the nobles, and their bones were bent, showing signs of high stress. But it did not take 100,000 pyramid builders 30 years to build the pyramids. Especially when 100,000 people were 10% of the population of ancient Egypt. In reality, it took 20,000 people 20 years to build the Great Pyramid of Giza, which consists out of 2.3 million stone blocks with each of them weighing up to 10 tons. Out of those 20,000 workmen, 15,000 of them worked 12 hours a day for 3 months, and then went back to their villages. New builders would replace them. The other 5,000 were core workers and permanent technicians. American construction expert, Craig Smith, who builds airports and subways, confirmed those numbers by conducting a large experiment. And so, the slave theory and their numbers were proven wrong once for all.